Hey, hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. As always, an easy way to support the channel is by leaving a thumbs up, by commenting, or by subscribing if you're new here. I am currently, magically, at the moment, not at home. I'm away. I'm on holidays. I'm enjoying myself. But I decided to still make some videos so that everyone knows what's happening in the cryptocurrency space. These are going to be like mini news I missed, if you will. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump right into it. Starting today, a limited number of WhatsApp users in the United States will be able to send and receive crypto within the messaging app using Meta's Navi crypto wallet. Navi's head of product, Stefan Kazriel, announced that Meta, formerly known as Facebook, is piloting free and instant stablecoin payments inside of WhatsApp. So this could come as a surprise, but not really. In 2019, Facebook announced that they would be making their own digital currency. It was to be called Libra, I believe it was. After much regulatory pushback, by the end of 2019, the beginning of 2020, they announced, okay, fine, we will do it a different way, and that they would also be releasing their own stable coins. The way that we were told that it would work is that they would release a stable coin that was based off of the US dollar, one off of the euro, one off of the pound, and one off of the Japanese yen. I believe these were the coins that we were told about. So, as Facebook, Meta, owns WhatsApp, also Meta, it logically makes sense that they would be trying a slower rollout of this actual thing as opposed to doing it the original way that they wanted to do it, which was through Facebook, kind of immediately for everybody at once. But regulators realized, for those of you who were not here during those regulatory conversations, that Facebook overnight would have become the largest bank on the planet, because there was also you know how like in the cryptocurrency space, we end up getting news that like someone met someone else and this news actually took place, but like it's kind of speculative, no real confirmation for it. But anyway, we had news that allegedly Facebook officials had met with around 2 different countries to discuss implementing or using Libra within their country. And the idea is that apparently these were very not rich countries, and Facebook kind of went with them, allegedly once again, with the idea of saying, hey, we can help you pay off your debt if you use our digital currency as one of your main currencies on the planet. This is also when we had that gigantic graph of all the companies who had also joined into using Facebook's digital currency. It was Uber, it was Lyft, it was, I think Visa and MasterCard were also on there until we had regulatory pullback, and then they switched sides and now they're, fully into Bitcoin. So yeah, Meta launched this digital assets wallet Navi in the US and Guatemala 6 weeks ago. Did not know that. It is processing payments using Pax dollars, a Paxos issued stablecoin pegged to the US dollar. According to Kazriel, the Navi wallet will let US users make USDP payments inside WhatsApp and do so securely, instantly, and with no fees. The payments will appear directly in people's chat, he said, adding that the payments will not affect WhatsApp's end-to-end encryption. Sure, why not? So, we'll see how this works out. I have not heard anything, like literally except for this actual article floating around. Still no, I think even in Q3 we should have seen Facebook/Meta's digital coin officially launching, like the actual Navi token and the Navi wallet actually launching. I have a very strong inkling this will require an enormous amount of KYC, AML, know your customer rules and things like that. So at some point, I assumption, as the US and many other countries usually do not let people move their money around as they normally should see fit, this is probably going to have something where it's going to ask you for ID, where you live, and a bunch of other things if you decide to use this actual service, which I then assume is going to get tons of people off of WhatsApp and onto other platforms. But as of now, let's see where it goes. It's interesting how it took about 2.5 years for Facebook to have completely changed their idea of what they were going to do. But yeah, let's move on. Next up, Coinbase has announced that customers in over 70 countries will be able to earn yield with their crypto holdings through DeFi. They said, we are making DeFi more accessible, engaging eligible customers in more than 70 countries to access the attractive yields of DeFi lending on their DAI, that is DAI, with no fees, lockups, or setup hassle. This is very important because years ago, even before DeFi became DeFi, the idea was that if you wanted to earn a yield or a return on any of your cryptocurrencies, you would have to lock them into a platform. You had to lock them onto a blockchain in some sort of way, and usually it would be like a 3 to 6 month lockup. So you put your money inside, and to keep the integrity and the strength of the actual blockchain, you had to keep your coins there. Should there be a drop in price, you weren't able to simply scramble and take your coins out. So the idea of no lockups is kind of, big. At the heart of this move is Coinbase's desire to make DeFi more customer-friendly and approachable. Using the DAI stablecoin, customers can opt in to earn DeFi Yield. Customers' holdings will be deposited with Compound Finance, which Coinbase describes as an industry-leading DeFi protocol. So, the major point that a lot of people are discussing right now, despite rolling out this service to 70 different countries on the planet, Coinbase's DeFi Yield is not available to customers in the United States of America. Is anyone surprised? No, you should not be, because the US SEC is quite special. I'm not sure what they're doing. I don't even think they really know what they're doing at this point. Normally, whenever we get news that something has launched, whether it be from Binance, from Kraken, usually from Coinbase, it's the idea that it's available everywhere, except for Alaska and except for New York. But now it's the entirety of the United States. Why the SEC would have said no to allowing them to launch a product like this for the United States, I'm not really sure, because there's tons of other wonky things going around out there in stocks and bonds and mutual funds and other hedge funds that are completely out of line, and people are losing tons of money. But I guess the idea of people making passive income during a really strenuous time over the last 2 years is just too much for the SEC. So this will continue rolling out as time ends up going on. This is going to be, once again, I told you all this before, at least my prediction. I think this is going to be the new way to make money. I think the people who are going to benefit from this the most are going to be people who are very early, us, in the cryptocurrency space. Should cryptocurrency prices continue to rise over the next couple of years, the idea of working will simply not even be a thing. You will simply use your cryptocurrencies, you will stake them, you will DeFi them, and this is how you will be making money in the future. Not joking, it's clearly here now, but as prices rise, 5% of 100,000 is a big difference from 5% of 1.5 million. Anyway, that's the Coinbase DeFi Yield, still not in the US news. Thank you, SEC. And without further ado, let's move on. Also in the news, and I just don't understand why this is, Ripple executive chairman and co-founder Chris Larsen has proposed a strategy to incentivize Bitcoin miners to move away from the energy-intensive proof-of-work consensus mechanism on Friday. Ripple co-founder and executive chairman Chris Larsen published a strategy on how Bitcoin could reduce its energy consumption. According to Larsen, Bitcoin miners should see a change away from proof-of-work as a net positive for their longevity. He began by saying that his proposal is conceding that moving Bitcoin away from the energy-intensive proof-of-work consensus mechanism would be challenging, which is why he's suggesting a code change that would introduce new lucrative incentive for miners to ease the potential transition. One challenge of making a code change is the assumed... All right, I'm just going to tell you, no, this is not going to work. For those of you, first of all, the idea is not new. If you've been here years ago, we knew a while ago that as Bitcoin's difficulty continues to rise, as people who are mining Bitcoin, it becomes more energy intensive and work intensive and money intensive for them to buy these new machines, It was proposed a long time ago, since around like 2015, 2016, before we even had the entire avalanche of proof of stake coins, that Bitcoin should eventually find a way to become less energy intensive because it would become too restricted. And this is back in the time when you could like take an old laptop and still maybe get like 1 million Satoshis in like a week. Not a lot, but it's still something. You can't get even dust now. So, I think it's cool that this was proposed. Is it going to work out? No. If you've ever spoken to like a purist, a pure Bitcoin maximalist, not someone who got into it about 1.5 years ago, who's like, oh, I only own Bitcoin, it's the most amazing thing. I mean, people who actually understand the code and really like the mantra of Bitcoin. The idea is, for those of you who don't know, is that the energy gives it value. One of the main propositions for why does Bitcoin have value, you know, the network has never gone down. And the other thing is that the energy consumed, I know this sounds, you know, different, it's whatever. It's the energy consumed by the network that powers the creation of one Bitcoin is what gives Bitcoin, that individual coin, that amount of value. Of course, the other things, the usage and yada, 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 but that's one of the main ideas. So also Bitcoin on-chain, as it's called sometimes, Bitcoin Core, the core of Bitcoin is very rarely, if ever, actually upgraded or updated. Bitcoin is far too powerful, the network, to simply say, well, Chris Larson said we should upgrade it, and then everyone works to upgrade it. No, that's not how it works. You build layers and side chains around the actual core so that the core remains the same. It's had no downtime. It hasn't been hacked. It hasn't been 51% attacked. You know the whole spiel. So the idea is you build things around it that protect the core, and you leave the core alone. Is kind of the, you know, simplified idea of it. So is Bitcoin ever going to move away from proof of work? I'm not sure. I would give a big no over the next 20 to 30 years because this is once again the belief that this is what gives Bitcoin the majority of its actual value. Sure. Why not? Yeah, that's the Ripple people talking about Bitcoin changing to Bitcoin's not changing to proof. If Bitcoin was going to change to proof of stake, we would have heard about it. I assure you. Think of all the other coins. Even one of the other privacy coins. What was it? Monero or something Cash, who came out recently and they were like, hey, we're also moving from proof of work to proof of stake because less energy, greener, blah, 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 blah. Bitcoin people don't actually. This is why you see the entire mantra of just use green energy to create Bitcoin, but nothing about allowing normal people to be able to mine it themselves or even, you know, take over the network. Anyway, that's the Ripple Bitcoin proof of work strategy energy consumption news. And let's move on. Next up okay. EOS and Block 1 are back in the news again because everything's ridiculous. However, the impact of this news is open to interpretation. Over time, the EOS community witnessed a huge number of setbacks, including a significant decline in the rate and quality of code production being output for EOS by Block 1. Fair to say the EOS Network Foundation has had a troubled past. Yves LaRose, that is a fancy name. Yves LaRose? Wow. The community elected CEO of the EOS Foundation expressed some major concerns. This doesn't come as a surprise. Here's just what might revive sentiment from the community. So apparently, allegedly, what happenedly, is EOS founder Dan Larimer, who I believe took like a step back from the entire project a while ago. He's been doing like 19 other things. Sure, why not? Has proposed reshaping and restructuring the EOS brand. This might reformulate a new vision and new goals to encourage community members to participate and promote community growth, something that might help the ecosystem to become the largest DAO, or at least try to be one. And apparently someone took a screenshot of them all having a conversation. And yeah, so now this is all my opinion. Once again, I own EOS. I was there at the beginning of EOS. I did not participate in the ICO, but I bought some the moment that I was actually legally able to. If EOS rebrands, it is going to be no, I can't say that word. It's going to be terrible. I assume and would simply like if EOS simply did the things that they said that they were going to do. I would love if there were more block producers so that it could be further decentralized. I would love if normal people were able to actually stake on the network as well, and not just as a means of consensus or being able to vote, so that normal people and not just the block producers could actually stake the coins themselves so that they could also make some side income as well. I would love to see Bullish, the cryptocurrency exchange that's meant to be on top of EOS, using EOS. I would like to see Voice or some decentralized iteration of Voice. I think that'd be kind of cool. I would love to even see a Voice where at the very top there's like a little tab and you could go to NFT Voice and also trade NFTs in a decentralized manner using EOS. I think it would be great to have an actual NFT platform, a DeFi platform, some type of a burn mechanism that took place behind the scenes as well, so that we could also see that while new EOS is being created, it's also being burned. I think the idea of any type of a rebrand or changing the name of would destroy the entire project. Part of the issue is, here's my opinion, a large portion of the people who made $4 billion don't actually care if the project really continues or not. If someone gave you, I don't even have to make like a scenario. If someone gave you $4 billion, would you really care what someone across the street was doing? No. You'd be doing, and I know they haven't, they're not in possession of the entirety of the $4 billion. I know how money works, but you understand what I'm saying. So, yeah, I would love to see like proper decentralization. I would like if it wasn't just 4 people in a group chat deciding the entire future of a network that's supposed to be decentralized. If they asked the entire community to have an actual vote, and once again, that didn't involve, because the more, as far as I remember, the more EOS you have, the heavier your vote. So, yeah. I would love to see just a continuation and a final rollout of everything that we were supposed to have received over the last 3 years. I think that would be kind of neat and swell. All the airdrops, all the new coins, all the new projects that we should have received in 2017 and 2018. Would be nice to see those as well. Maybe a partnership with a bank or two, or some type of a, how about multiple stable coins on top of EOS and its own cryptocurrency exchange? All these things can be done. Like, these things aren't difficult to do. If Cardano, Tron, Litecoin, Ethereum, Solana, Sixth Coin, if all these things have all these things in their platform with like millions of dollars being raised, I'm certain it could all be done on EOS. But will it? It's really easy to show a screenshot of a conversation and say, yeah, let's rebrand it. How about just giving us what we've been waiting for the last 4 years? I think people would like that a lot more. Anyway, that's the EOS rebranding news. It's not going to happen. All right, let's move on. And to finish things off, a recent report by the New York Times explains why there is currently a Bitcoin boom in the Empire State. According to a New York Times report published on the 5th of December, cheap power and lax regulations have led to a Bitcoin mining industry to thrive in New York State. The report talks about a new Bitcoin mining business set to begin operating this month northeast of Niagara Falls. I know it's not Niagara. At the site of a former coal-fired plant. There we go. A similar story has occurred at Messina's former aluminum plant, which now houses one of the largest cryptocurrency sites in the United States. I guess this kind of ties into, this wasn't super popular, but whenever we get like any type of news that crypto Bitcoin mining has continued to move further away from that country that shall not be named, it usually ends up becoming quite popular. I'm going to assumption that this was not overseen by the US SEC, because this would not be a thing. I'm going to assume that the other regulators who deal with energy consumption and stuff like that are probably the reason why this is actually taking place. I assume they went to school or just learned a lot more, because, it just seems kind of logical. If you have something that can use excess power in your state or your country or your city, and get extra tax revenue from something that's being created just seems logical. Anyway, so that's the Bitcoin boom occurring in the New York State, Empire State. Cool. I hope it continues. I hope they continue going other places and just using, renewable energy, because that's how the world should work. Let's move on. Yeah. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.